All right, happy Monday night, everybody. Welcome on in to the worldwide Raiderland headquarters. Glad you're with us tonight for a Monday night, good, bad, and ugly Monday. We recap the weekend with you. You tell us the stuff you love, you like, you hate it, in between. GBU it up tonight. We got a lot of Tech basketball to talk about. Obviously, the Lady Raiders are rolling on in the WBIT. The Red Raiders are headed to the Sweet 16 for the first time since 2022 out there in San Francisco against Arkansas Pig Suey. And we got the question of the night, which is your top three favorite Texas Tech men's basketball players of all time. Don't worry, we'll get to the Lady Raiders. We got a long week to get to Thursday. All right, we got a lot of breakdowns. We got a lot of different things to do. Don't forget Tech baseball. Math sucks, according to Jimmy Buffett, and he's right. Right now, the math sucks for Tech baseball. The options to getting into the postseason are pretty much right here, very narrow, but we can talk about what you got to do. All sorts of stuff, everything in between. Got some other news and notes on NIL, the impact on the NCAA basketball tournament. You name it. You tell me. You get your questions and comments in tonight. Thanks to United Supermarkets and Market Street, the official sponsor of Raiderland, the official sponsor of United Supermarkets Arena, and so much of what Texas Tech does. So, whether you are on Twitter X at Ryan Hyatt Media, whether you are on YouTube, Ryan Hyatt's Raiderland, all free to sign up for, or Facebook Live, hey, thousands of people can't be wrong. You tell us what's on your mind tonight. So, let's have a great conversation. Let's get it going. The early arrivals, you know what to do. Let us know the audio is good, the video is good, then share the dog out of it on whatever platform you have chosen to engage with us on. In three, in two, good evening, West Texans, all you good, fine, friendly folks out there who wish you were. I'm Ryan Hyatt, theraiderland.com, where you start your day in Raiderland. We've got the hot links. We've got the question of the day. We've got our thoughts, all sorts of cool stuff at theraiderland.com. Everything we do is archived there at theraiderland.com. So if you ever feel like you missed something, you just go right there. We are brought to you tonight by Domino's Pizza, domino's.com. It's tournament time. It's Monday night. You need to lay in some pizza for the week. They've got some cool specials going on right now. The oven baked sandwiches. Yes, you got the oven baked sandwiches right now. How good does that sound? You tell me. Also by South Plains College in Levelland. A lot of great Red Raiders started off as great Texans. The road to Raiderland runs through Levelland. Find out today. Go to their Facebook page, their website, what they can do for you. Maybe a youngster in your family, college age, continuing education. You need to check out what South Plains College has to offer. I'm so pleased that they understand the great audience that we have here in Raiderland and want to be a part of it, and understand, and that you guys understand that, there are a lot of different ways to get to your college education. South Plains College is one of them. So glad to have them along for the ride. All right, good, bad, and ugly Monday. It's simple. The things you liked over the weekend that impressed you, sports or otherwise. Texas Tech basketball. You got thoughts, comments going to not to Arkansas, but San Francisco, late game Thursday night. How you feeling about it? Do you have to have Chance McMillan to win? But the question of the night, give us your top three all-time favorite Texas Tech basketball players. How far back do you go? Do you remember the first Texas Tech basketball game you saw in person? Was it at the United Supermarkets Arena? At the Coliseum? Anybody go back to the old Tech barn? I doubt it. If you do, that would be awesome. That would be great. Even if you're lying, it would make me feel good. Then we have the Lady Raiders. The big announcement tomorrow. Leah Chavez, Monterey, 1 o'clock. Closed to the public. ESPN gets to show it. Closed to the public. 1 o'clock, she'll announce where she's going to play college basketball. And then Texas Tech baseball loses the series to TCU. They've got Tarleton tomorrow, and then it's up to Kansas State. It's critical mass time for Texas Tech baseball. Where do you guys want to go? You get it fired up on the chat line. Thanks to United Supermarkets. You fire away. You get it going. You tell me. And off we go. The talking box is indeed on, Craig. Glad to have Craig on. First one on Facebook, first one on YouTube. Ryan Hyatt's Raiderland. Everybody subscribe. We're freaking close to 500. I can't tell you how much. If you guys really want to do something, and not thank me, but thank our sponsors and everybody else. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and get that metric over 500. It'll explode. The options for getting in here are wide open, baby. Subscribe. Indeed, you are correct. So we put the top 3 players all time, your favorite 3 players, Texas Tech basketball, on the Facebook page today. Another reason why you should subscribe to that or follow it or whatever you want to call it. And it was really interesting, the eras that we saw. We had everything from Rick Bullock to Dub Malaise, Bubba Jennings, Jason Sasser. I threw up the Jason Sasser picture. One of my favorites all time. Obviously, a part of that huge, great 1996 team. James Dickey called him the Ultimate Warrior. I don't know if there is a better nickname for Texas Tech basketball, and it's probably up there with all-time Texas Tech sports, right? Great nicknames. The Ultimate Warrior. Jason Sasser. Golden Palomino. King Kong. James Hadnot. Handsome Ransom Walker. Elmer the Great. Now, that's obviously going to be the best all time. We're talking Texas Tech nicknames. Because when you get called the Great, and your first name's Elmer, right? And you're going through life, even in the 1930s, tagged with Elmer, and then they say the Great, and then you turn into just this awesome football player and American. Yeah, so you kind of get that one going. So your top 3 favorite Texas Tech basketball players of all time. We're going to have some topics like this running through the week with Tech basketball, men's and women. Don't worry, we'll get to the Lady Raiders. Why would I not? Oh yeah, I don't like Lady Raider bats. Somebody hit me up on Twitter. I think it was about 2 weeks ago. You just don't like women's sports. You don't like women's basketball. You don't care about it. You don't know anything about it. I'm like, really? Obviously, we've not met. Craig, my first basketball game was in the Coliseum on my birthday. Oh, you weren't playing, you were watching. I don't remember the year, but it was against Houston. Clyde Drexler was playing for Houston. So it's 1983, most likely. 83 or 85 during Phi Slamma Jamma, when Houston is rolling in with Akeem Olajuwon, Benny Anders, Cadillac Anderson. So Christian Anderson, that's why I refer to him sometimes, for those who don't know, as Escalade Anderson. He can't be Cadillac, but the dude's pretty darn good. So yeah, that was probably about 83 or 84, 82 to 84, right in through there when you saw your first game. Pretty good game to see. My first game that I can recall was a little bit before that, but not much, not much. Mark, he's on our YouTube channel, and I know he shared it and put it out there. That's all we ask you to do. Like it, share it, grow it. At the Coliseum, Mike Russell, Jeff Houston spelled it correctly. We appreciate that. Kent Williams, while at Tech, favorite Bubba Jennings, Jason Sasser, and Tony Battie, the Batman. Tony Battie originally signed Texas Tech. He's about 6'7" in high school, and James Dickey is recruiting him as a power forward, big forward, whatever, lanky guy. And the next thing you know, he is a legit 6'11", 7 foot. Which that was one of the things that I heard James Dickey on local radio with David Thetford and Gary Ashby on their show on the Tech 97.3 FM, Double T 97.3 this past weekend. And they had James Dickey on, and James is a really good guy. I need to get him on here sometime, and he can explain how he used to call into my call-in show with me and Don Williams during the breaks and lecture me about what we didn't know and didn't understand. But he made a great point about that 96 team, how they were pure at every position. You had a pure 5, a pure 4, a pure 3, pure point guard, that every position was pure. So nobody was playing out of position, and that how rare that is in college basketball. It was really, I think we probably realized it at the time. Back then, that was more the normal than rare. Now it's really rare. You ask a lot of guys to play on a position. Steven is with us on Twitter X. Last night, Twitter X going big. I think we've got Twitter X back now. If you're watching on Twitter, you can get in on the chat line thanks to United Supermarkets. I think it looked like we had our metrics back last night. So if you're on Twitter, be sure and share it and remind everybody we're talking about this stuff. Jerry Mason, your favorite? Really? Jerry Mason? Mason out of, was he out of Lamesa or Morton? Lamesa, I think. Timbo out of Austin, maybe. Fleming, Sasser, Andre Emmett is what I would say right now. Well, this is the only time right now. Wonder how long it would take an Andre Emmett. Great player. Bless his heart. Ah, yes, the old Jason Sassett. So Jason Sassett, coming out of Kilgore, Texas. Jason Sassett in 1989. Didn't last very long. Just, a little undersized, not very muscular. But later on, a couple of years later, Jason Sasser would come out and he'd be pretty good. Thumbs up for James on Facebook. We appreciate it. All right. Your three favorite Texas Tech basketball players of all time. Also, if you can remember the first time you saw Tech play a home game in Lubbock. Do you remember the first, or maybe just the era? If you can't remember the actual game, that's okay. You can give us the era. We have Texas Tech baseball to talk about before we get out of here tonight. The RPI, D1Baseball.com, sitting this morning at 73. Not as bad as I thought it would be. Could have been a lot worse. So, yeah, it could have been a lot worse. It's still not good. And your path is still minuscule to the NCAA baseball tournament this year. You're going to have to finish, I think, 1 or 2 in the Big 12 regular season or win the Big 12 tournament, which you hadn't done since I was calling games in 1998. Put that in perspective. But there were good things out of baseball over the weekend. Basketball in general, we want to hear from you on that. And the Lady Raiders, the jury is out, and they have tendered the decision. And the Elia Chavez decision will be rendered tomorrow at 1 p.m. Central Time at Monterey, closed to the public, open to ESPN. I think I have a feeling how this is going to go. First year we dated. We dated? At basketball games? I hope I at least bought the tickets. Probably got in on free parking, knowing me. Made it through to San Francisco. Sean Gay, a dribble and assist man. So Sean Gay is in 1985, 86, 87. I'm trying to remember the year he was a freshman. 87, I want to say. Coming off the 84-85 Southwest Conference Championship teams for Gerald Myers, Sean Gay out of Houston is the most highly celebrated recruit for Tech in a coon's age. I mean, it's been a while. And he gets to Tech, and he's good, and Texas Tech immediately goes downhill. It just was frustrating for everybody involved. He was one of the most highly sought-after recruits in Texas, and it didn't work out at all at Texas Tech. I cannot remember his last year. I want to say maybe 88 or 89. Oh, your first basketball game. Okay, for Texas Tech. Yeah, that's totally different. No, I thought that's what we were talking about, but yeah. We dated. Favorite players: Aaron Grant, Keenan Evans, and Jolie Ayers Curry. James, jumping in there. We're going to do Lady Raiders tomorrow. Getting ahead of it. Texas Tech men tonight. Don't worry. Just settle down. We'll get to the Lady Raiders. Good luck on you guys trying to do just 3 favorite Lady Raider players all time, too. And who you got to leave out. Top 3 favorite Texas Tech men's basketball players all time tonight. Your thoughts on the matchup with Arkansas? Do you like it? Do you not like it? Do you like the way the bracket is breaking? How's your bracket breaking? My bracket is really freaking good. I'm not lying. And I sent a picture of it before the tournament started to Alan Corbin, our one of our correspondents out there, and I wanted to have like legal time stamped. All right, this is what I did. Don't laugh, but this is what I did, and I'm sitting here right now, and it's real. Otherwise, how the hell could I do that? I couldn't do it. We are 37-11 through the first 2 rounds. We went 6-2 on Saturday, 7-1 yesterday. We have lost exactly 3 teams to the Sweet 16. I have every Elite 8 team, every Final Four team still left in my bracket. It's one of the best brackets I've done in a while, and I did it in exactly 3.5 minutes. Guarantee you. I did it with the survivor philosophy in mind, actually, a little bit playing backwards to the front. But I finally gave in to the idea of just there's really not that many upsets anymore. And with NIL and everything, it's killing the mid majors. And it's a chalk tournament, particularly from the second round into the Sweet 16. And then it's really a chalk tournament. I'm like, give into that. Don't try to pick too many upsets. Best one I've done in a while. How's your bracket? Good, bad, and ugly Monday. Give us the good, the bad, the ugly from the weekend. Tech basketball, you want to talk about that? We can as we go through. I do have some interesting notes on Calipari talking about Arkansas in the portal last year, some NIL stuff. They spent $10 million plus. They were the Texas Tech of the basketball portal last spring that Tech was in football this off season. 10 million. 10 million. Also, I think this is an On3 column I was reading. The average Power 4 conference team basketball starter. All right, starting 5, average Power 4 team. What do you think they make on NIL this year? What do you think they make? You tell me. Chris, do you think the lack of upsets is an aberration this year, or is it the norm now? I think it's the norm now, and we kind of got into that with the last discussion, that the mid-majors are getting winnowed out by the ability to pluck them out of the transfer portal, buy off their better players, and just reduce them to rubble every year. Look what Texas Tech did getting JT Toppin, taking it away from New Mexico. How did New Mexico do? How far did they advance? How far did they advance with JT Toppin? All right. They can't compete. It's going to be a $10 million budget. And this was last year, really. Going into next year, it's going to be a $10 million budget for a basketball team, NIL / whatever you got to pay them. Those schools can't compete. They're done. With NIL, do you think 13, 16 seed will win in the foreseeable future? Yeah, there'll be one out there every now and then, but it's going to get harder and harder. And this tournament is going to move to a tournament that is going to be run by the Power 4 conferences. It's going to be run by the football conferences. They're going to break it away from the NCAA just as soon as they can break away themselves. 5, 6, 7 years from now, don't know how long it lasts, but they'll run their own tournament. They'll put it on Fox. They don't need the NCAA. Look at who's in it right now. These are the football teams. Why do we need the other teams? You don't need them. Scott jumping in. He's on Facebook. Facebook been strong tonight. YouTube been all right. Twitter people, I hope you're coming back to us. Twitter was kind of down on the backside, the back end of their platform after Elon Musk got hacked about 2 weeks ago. Looked like yesterday with our Diamond Talk that our Twitter people are back. So jump in. You can comment in. You can get your comments in. You can share it, grow it, do everything you want to do. Favorites way back: Greg Lowry, Gene Knoll, going back to the early 70s, mid 70s, and remembering Jack Dale with his classic top of the circle, outside, inside, right side, outside, back on the top of the circle, jump shoots and scores. Can't do it in his voice. Jack worked with a lot of great analysts over the years. He told a friend of mine who was working with him, said, golly, hey, really want you to be a part of the broadcast. You've got, and I want you to tell the folks anything you can. You've got from the time the ball goes through the net until they inbound it to say anything you want to say. Okay? Okay. Starting five will be 1.5 million for payroll. Go bigger than that. The average starter right now, according to sources, Power Four, minimum $500,000. All right. So your starters are going to be, well, do the math. It's going to be more than that. $10 million is going to be your payroll next year, average, minimum college basketball. Joe jumping in, Texas Tech and Bama for the Natty. Can't lose. Can we get there? Bama. I got Alabama. I got Alabama going pretty deep, Joe. I'm not ready to release my Final Four. I've kept this closely guarded because we're having a good run with it. Again, Alan Corbin will verify everything I tell you. He has the pictures of it before the tournament started. I've got Alabama going pretty dang far. I like Alabama. Tech fans should at least respect their coach. He knows how to coach. Hot commodity coming up, by the way. If Alabama can hold on to him. Alabama is such a poor school. They don't make much money on football, and being in the SEC, they have a hard time doing well. College basketball crown is the test drive this year for the new Power Four basketball tournament. I mean, it already is, right? Look who's in it. Look who is in the Sweet 16. It is the Power Four, Tiger Woods has a new girlfriend. Yeah, what is that? Ivanka Trump's daughter, or I lose track. I get confused. So it's like the ex-wife, so it's the ex-daughter-in-law, and I lose track, and I don't know, and it's like an Ivanka, it's a something or another. Okay, good for Tiger. I mean, come on. He peaked with Ellen. And then Lindsey Vonn was a great rebound. Kind of, he's coming up on 50, doing what he can. Do you think Arkansas guards Tech inside out or outside in? Hope that makes sense. It does. They will go inside out. They're much bigger than anybody Texas Tech has played. They're a very good rebounding team. They have the ability 100% to take away the top and move inside and do a much better job of defending inside than Wilmington could and still get to shooters. That's why if you don't have McMillan, it's going to be a tough slog against this Arkansas team. They got the size, they got the physicality. They have no problem just saying we're going to do a shutdown middle, and we still think we can get out and get on your guards. Wilmington, they could double. They could take away on the inside. They did not have the size. They did not have the athleticism to rotate back out, catch that second shot or second pass. Enters, first pass out. I may have that defended. The rotation pass on the backside, I don't have time to get there. Arkansas has the athleticism to get there better than what you saw with Wilmington. So you're not going to see 48 threes attempted. That's why you need McMillan there. Now, do you have to have him to win? No. Do you need him to have a good chance? Yes. Andy says we have to have McMillan. I mean, have to? Yeah. Want to? Yeah. That said, McMillan, and I can tell you this right now, in the betting markets, McMillan not playing is already priced in. And Texas Tech being a 7-point favorite over Arkansas, the McMillan not being there is priced in. Now, that's the betting market. Take it for what you want. But those are the sharp guys all around the country saying, we don't believe he's going to play because there are a lot of people that don't think he plays again this year. I'm not so sure, but there are a lot of people that think that McMillan has played his final game this year, that it's not going to happen. I will tell you it's priced into the betting number as we sit here tonight. That ought to make you feel good if you're a Tech fan. Because if I were pricing it in, I would have it much closer to like 3.5, right around there, instead of around 5, 7. James, hope Hawkins can drive and dish. Williams will have to play downhill. Yeah, and the thing with Hawkins is he's going to have to stay out of foul trouble come Thursday night. And I hope it's officiated the way the previous game was. That was a great game for Texas Tech, how they officiated it. You don't need it called tight. You've got to let them call it loose because Hawkins does have a tendency to get up underneath up underneath a guy defending and get some reach in fouls, and you don't need that. So I would say, driving and dishing or anything else, that's predicated on him staying out of foul trouble, playing about 33 minutes. Scott, watching Zona's Love. What are we talking about? Some sort of weird movie now? Unbelievable. The zone he was in. Oregon, hitting threes and driving to the rim for dunks. His stock value is up, but seems a little unstable. I don't have any answer to that on that at all. Meanwhile, Duke will handle Arizona. Not so fast, my friend. Not so fast. The officials for Arizona and St. John's were good as well. Yeah, I mean, don't let it get out of control, but let's not foul everybody out in the first half. Mark jumping in on X, Twitter X at Ryan Hyatt Media. Glad to see you out there. Glad to know that hopefully the back end of Elon is working again, that our friends on Twitter X are getting the broadcast. It looked like it on our Diamond Talk last night. Hopefully that's going again tonight. You guys share it. These late game starts are killing us on the right coast. That's the wrong coast. That's the East Coast. And yeah, it's going to be a 10-10 10-10 start. It'll be on time probably. I mean, what are we doing here? Why can't we start a little earlier in the day? But I'm with you. I mean, it's killing me in the Central Time Zone. Might have to take 2 naps instead of 1 coming up on Thursday. Mark, sounding good on X. I appreciate that. Throw up the X. Everybody, Tech basketball, top 3 favorite players all time. Who you got? Lady Raiders more. We'll do Lady Raiders top 3 favorite Lady Raiders tomorrow, and we'll also have the Aaliyah Chavez announcement tomorrow. Oklahoma, she's going to Oklahoma. Boomer Sooner. And then whatever else may be on your mind to get into. Sean Miller to Texas. And we looked around and we said, Sean Miller to Texas, and said, there's another good coach going to Texas to watch his career go like this. No upside. Nobody cares. They built a small arena, very small arena, very small, just like, the guy, very popular in the ads, and he's got small hands, and it doesn't matter. Small arena. Nobody cares about Texas basketball. Good job, Sean Miller. And here's what's interesting. Texas knew they couldn't get your coach this time. They knew they couldn't come after Grant McCasland because it's a lesser job. Love it. Absolutely love it. It wouldn't. I mean, it wasn't even a discussion. You don't even try. Texas doesn't even try right now to get a McCasland or even a Kelvin Sampson. You know, Solid Tech was the closest team to the West Regional at 1,500 miles. Yeah, it's going to be. Nobody's going to have a home court advantage. Tech will have their fans. We'll see if I don't know. The fans that will show up are not like crazy liberal California fans. They're obviously sports fans. They're basketball fans. So will they be more conservative in nature and perhaps like Texas Tech? I don't know. It's going to be a neutral arena. That's fine by me. All right. I think that's good. But yeah, you look at the teams going out there and where they're coming from. You're just going, holy crap. We're the turtle, baby. Or if you get arrested in San Francisco wearing a plastic pig hat, actually out there, they probably think you're making fun of the cops and they'll probably celebrate them. I said it out loud. Ronald Ross, Dub Malays, Bubba Jennings, 50 points plus Dub Malays, Ronald Ross, great. Bubba would have had 42,000 points if they'd had the 3-point line. They went back, they figured it up, they did all the footage. He would have had 42,000 points. Chris, you did remember who Vanilla Thunder was in my comment, right? I assume we're talking about Lance Hughes. Assume that's who you're talking about. This is Brad Dale out of Amarillo High, who Mark Hendrick knows all about Brad Dale in Amarillo High. Meanwhile, the Pride of Post, Texas, Bubba Clarence Swanigan, Swanee, and Tyrone Thurman, who in 88, was it 88? Either 87 or 88. Crap, how I'm going to lose track. Tyrone Thurman plays in about 2 games in either 87 or 88, wearing, I think, 00. And that was when, so this is when the slide is kind of beginning for Gerald Myers. And you need players and anybody athletic. And Tyrone Thurman comes out. I think he wore 00. That was the same time frame. A lot of Tech fans forget Tracy Saul played in a handful of games in 88, 89, 88, 89, maybe. That Tracy Saul came out. I don't know if he wore number 6 or not, but the natural was out there. All right, 88. But I'm pretty sure that he was wearing the 00. I mean, you had that 88, 87, 88, 88, 89. And again, we go back up here if he's still on. Mark Hendrick will remember this. Bless their hearts, they just were trending not really good. And against Kansas, you've got a chance to tie the game late. It's an inbound pass to Wes Lowe. Nothing against Wes Lowe. Good dude. Only guy I ever saw try to catch an inbound pass with his kneecaps. And it goes out of bounds, and it's ugly. All right. James, it would be interesting to see a regional be relocated if the teams over 1,000 miles away. San Francisco moved to St. Louis would be better. Yeah, I mean, obviously the logistics, you can't get the arena, all that stuff. You just can't do it that quickly. I know what you're saying, but I have no problem. I'd rather it be out there on a neutral court, a really neutral court floor, and Tech fans make more noise than any other fans. Now that Arkansas band going to be a problem. They're the best. Did he say that out loud? He probably did. They're about the best college basketball band out there. The court jesters better ramp up a little bit. All right? They better ramp up a little bit to go after those people. The court jesters like to sit back and play their music and be nice. You've got to get rowdy. You've got to get crazy. There was a stretch of time in the early 90s when the court jesters would do that. Hadn't seen it in a while. Y'all need to get after it out there. get crazy. Yeah, but I'd rather be in a neutral building. We have gone green, white, checkered, and I didn't even know it. Clay is in there with the really good Rangers logo. That means he's a Texas Rangers fan, not a actual law enforcement officer. But go back and get the 1984 logo for the Rangers or 83 with the cowboy hat. All right, Clay, that'll be better. Bubba, Will, and Jason, solid. And you know Bubba Jennings is good. When you just say Bubba, you don't have to do the whole thing. Will Flemons, who I believe Mark Hendrick actually played against in summer league basketball one year. I'm dating you so big right now. Brad Dale, Amarillo High. Good haircut. Good haircut. Yeah, I think Mark Hendrick schooled Will Flemons in some Lubbock Summer League basketball action when he was coming to Tech. Flemons, this is hard to believe 30 years later, is kind of a forgotten player from the players that people romanticize of the teams in the 80s with Gerald Myers and him being so good in the early 90s, making the tournament in 93. They lose to Wake Forest maybe in the tournament. I can't remember. They make it one time. But Will Flemons kind of gets lost in the shuffle. And one of the most awesome, greatest guys you've ever wanted to know. And the only guy I know from Paducah, Texas, who sounded like Gomer Pyle. And then you met him and you go, don't look like Gomer Pyle. Love you, Will. I've told that to his face. Don't worry. All right, we got to get out of here. You guys are good. We went extra long tonight. In the morning on the website, theraiderland.com. It'll be Tuesday's Best, brought to you by Kyle Rogers, our real estate agent and realtor in Lubbock, Texas. Works with RE/MAX. If you're buying or selling a home, you need to get with Kyle. We'll give you a Tuesday topic. You sound off on that. We'll have great Raiderland hot links. Tomorrow on the show, get ready, your 3 favorite Lady Raider basketball players of all time. How about that? Both Texas Tech men and women still playing on March 25th, 26th, into the 27th. You know how long it's been since that happened? Been a way-ass long time. At least since 2005. And I would have to double check on when the Tech men got eliminated on that. So get on the website in the morning, grow that, share that, get your comments in. Andy, Brad Dale, great guy. Got to know him during coaching BCI basketball Congress International. Everybody. So we ask you one more time, if you want to do something special for us, if you want to do something that don't cost nothing, share our broadcast on your social media platforms, on Twitter, on Facebook. Share that, put it out there. Subscribe to all of our platforms. Even if you don't want to watch on YouTube, go over there, subscribe to YouTube, grow that. Same thing with Facebook. If you're on Twitter X, go to Facebook, like it, subscribe to that. And for those like 3 people of you that aren't following us on Twitter, at Ryan Hyatt Media. Everything else, the greatest thing you can do is like our advertisers, go online, tell them thanks for being out there. Obviously, buy their products when you can, and just grow what we're doing here. Doesn't take like 5 seconds to do it. All right, we'll have this posted up on the website here in just a little bit at theraiderland.com. We'll have it ready to go for you. You guys made the show extra special tonight. Thank you for being out there. We'll see you tomorrow at theraiderland.com.